Welcome, my friends, and greetings to you one and all, wherever you may be viewing from. Welcome to this episode of Bayou Gold Guy. I am Bayou Gold Guy, and we are kicking out the last weekend of June, National Shame / Boycott / Lack of Pride Month, and I say it's good. We're done with it. Let's get into July, our 248th birthday. And hopefully this will be like a long weekend now, kicking off here Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, maybe a day off going into 4th of July. But for this one, we're still in June, so we don't have a lot of 4th of July stuff going yet. I'll be doing something for the 4th, though, you know. And so with that being said, we are wrapping up part 2 of a couple of pay dirts that I'd gotten from a channel. Actually, it was a viewer who started his channel, Gold Thumb Prospecting, and we already did the Bayou Jambalaya, and now we've got Blackout in the Bayou, and you can guess what that's going to be with that name like that. So the first jar was excellent, some very cool inclusions and some really neat stuff in it. So this one, it's all business. So that being said, let's turn to the new gold epicenter of South Louisiana, where X marks the spot for our pay dirt du jour. And as said, there is our Gold Thumb sticker he sent with this. Very awesome. So actually we also have a few other around. There's our new Spire Prospecting that's on the board that came in from Matthew Lopez. We'll be getting into his stuff. Actually, that may be what we do for the 4th of July. A British invasion. Just showing there's no hard feelings, from some UK pay dirt. So yeah, but great guy. Like I said, I've got a few more to put on there now that we'll be adding, and it's going to fill this board up. But so yeah, we got a little bit of representation there for our 4th of July weekend kicking off here. But like I said, not a lot, and the fireworks stands aren't open yet, and I really don't have anything cool to blow off now. So we'll go with that on the next one. But right now, these are the fireworks we got here. Blackout in the Bayou from Jordan at Gold Thumb Prospecting. And this is like I said, it is a black sand, some would say a nightmare, a black sand nightmare perhaps. You can see that it is, there's very little non-magnetite dirt in there. So fortunately it's not a very big jar, so it's still a pretty good amount though. So let's get our water set up, and we'll get right into this one, because I think it's going to take a minute or two. All right, let's open this up. It's got the tape nicely sealing it up, just like our first one. Which that was our first one we did, the Bayou Jambalaya. And again, I picked everything out of it, but it had some very cool stuff in it, and still some nice pieces of quartz and stuff that are still in there. So, but this is our Blackout in the Bayou, which just putting in the names on that was really cool, that he came up with names for this, for the custom dirts there for the Bayou. So I just thought that was awesome. I know it gets tough trying to think up stuff when you're doing it from sometimes. But yeah, also these are plastic, not glass, so no shatter risk. So let's go ahead and take a look at it with the, oh man, that's even more impressive out of the bottle. Wow, that is a healthy amount of black sand, no doubt. Let's see if we can get this off without slinging it like last time. Oh, man, look, it even still pulled some up and caught it. That is just, when you get a load like that on these magnets and you gotta slide it off, it can be tough whenever it's a wad that big. It's got some real grip on it at that point. So there, we got most of that off. Crazy, just look at that. And it's still pulling some of it out of the along the bottom, but it's not lifting it up the rest of the way. You can see where it drops back in and shakes off the, but yeah. All right, well, that's, now that we know what we got in store for us here, yeah, you got to pull it off kind of in a solid move, and you got to hold your hand around it to block the stuff from pulling. That's why my hand's black there, because I'm out here sweating. Now, I'll tell you guys, it is steaming out here. 110 degree heat index, which back in Texas, it's actually gets to be 110, 112 with a heat index of 120. So it's hard to complain about heat indexes down here when it's in the mid 90s and they say, oh, it feels like it's, you know, what the real temperature is usually been, whatever, for most of my life in the summer, except for now the last almost 20 years here, getting there. It's like 17 now or something. I came in 2006, so yeah, do the math. Yeah, 17 years. So, all right, well, let's go ahead and jump right in with a little bit. We already know there's no point of dumping a whole lot in there, because it's going to take some doing to get it out. But thank you again to Jordan and Gold Thumb Prospecting for sending this to me. This is his first. These were his first pay dirts that he'd sent out. And something I never see people talking about on this is once you've used the magnet on this stuff. Some of these materials, especially, some are more than others, but it actually, just like, you know, if you pick up a paper clip with a magnet, or you've got your tweezers sitting there with your magnet in the box, that they become magnetized, and you can see how this stuff kind of clusters. It's almost like with that magnet so powerful, it imparts a little bit of magnetic attraction onto the material. I know it definitely did it quite a bit on that titanium, I mean the tungsten that was in the double black diamond gold nugget sales bag. But you can even see on this stuff, if I can get it to zoom in right, you can see how it's not granular, it's little clusters that are clumped together, and those aren't necessarily individual pieces. See, when I smear it in my hand, it breaks it up more. So that's it. It imparts a magnetic field on this stuff. Some of this stuff where it really clings to itself in the pan now. Like I said, with that tungsten, it left trails where it would be a line where it was still holding itself together in these lines of magnetic force. It's like, yeah, no, we don't want it to do that. And I held that stuff on there for a minute or two, so it like I said, I mean, you can see it doesn't look like fine grained sand coming out. It's little clumps. So hopefully we're not, zoom out, my fingers are wet. Hopefully we are not carrying gold out in those little clumps. And I almost just didn't have the time or the inclination to do this week, because I've been dealing so much with the animals here on Animal Farm. I don't know if some of y'all might have caught it, but last week on the end of the video, when I picked up Gizmo, and I was saying, I mean, it was like 1 in the morning, but he wasn't his usual energetic self. That's why I said he's tired, and that was I guess that was on the Friday night, and on which was it? Or was it Saturday? Saturday night? Oh yeah, that's right. We were doing the Saturday night video with JP's Lawnmower on there too. Thank you, JP. Appreciate that shout for that video. But yeah, so Saturday night, and Sunday he couldn't even hardly stand up. He was just so lethargic. He wouldn't get up. He just laid around. When he'd stand up, he was unsteady. He wasn't eating. And there were no emergency vets that I could, find here in Houma. So I called on Monday morning trying to find a vet that I could bring him into. And short of driving to New Orleans for a vet that did have something you could, try. They had enough doctors that they could do see emergency patients. But I just had him go ahead and set me an appointment for Tuesday morning, and next town over. And by then, he was actually, on Monday, he was getting better. He was still not really eating and was not his normal self at all, but he was going, would walk, and actually wasn't worse, at least. And so I took him in. The vet basically did a couple of checks on him, and they couldn't really tell me what was specifically would be causing that without like $500 worth of fucking tests. And I was like, no, I don't have $500 to give you guys to just shoot in the dark. Of course, I had this 20-something-year-old girl vet that, I just don't, women just, the ones I've dealt with do not make good vets, especially young ones. They don't know anything. I want a vet that's a man that's about 40 years old or better, that actually has some experience and can say, yes, I've seen that before. Chihuahuas do this or they do that. This girl, she's just, okay, well, let's just, check this and check that and check this. Then, so I said, well, if you can't tell me this, you can't tell me that, I'm not going to pay, an extra. I already was paying $200 just to get him in there and have him see him. And they were going to give him some diarrhea medicine that was supposed to help his because I kept telling him he doesn't have nausea, he doesn't have diarrhea, he just hasn't, he hadn't had a firm stool because he hadn't been eating. But yeah, so I get up there to pay with it. It's another like $140 for 2 doses of 2 days worth of diarrhea medicine for him. In a syringe I was giving him. I'm like, this isn't high tech, medicine. This is diarrhea medicine for a little fucking dog. I'm not paying, $130 for something that I keep telling you he doesn't have diarrhea. And so I got a pill for him that I broke in half and gave him for 2 days, and he's eating fine now. He's back to his little hyper self. But she's looking at him and telling me that he's he's little one nut Charlie. Like I said, he's got that testicle up in his body, so that will have to be removed when I get him fixed. And then she's showing me he's got one of his little baby canines that are still in the same, right there squeezed in next to his adult canine on his. So they're saying that could cause him problems. You need to have that pulled when you have his, when you do his, get him fixed. So yeah, he's got all kinds of little issues there, apparently. And, but he was, like I said, seemed to be healthy, and he's just never been much of an eater anyway since I've had him. He eats very, very little bits of food, and unless it's off my plate or something I'm giving him. He loves blueberries. He loves chunks of pineapple and peanuts and things like that actually are healthy for dogs to eat. But hold on, I'm getting a call. Well, that's good. That's some money calling. do some work right here down the street, just a few houses down. So that'll work for me. I've been midwifing Like I did a short on the new babies, and that was in the title. Yeah, I'm a cat midwife. But my pronouns are still bite me and fuck off. But yeah, that way I can still come down here, and it is so crazy that why is that gold floating like that? Look at that. You see that stuff lifting off there and just floating around? There's some right there. You can see those little specks moving. I just put in. I got the new rinse aid. Put some in this pan. Put some in the big pan. Add some more. But there's still, even adding that in there, there's still gold floating. I've never seen that where it floats even with the stuff in the pan. That's weird. But that is some very fine gold showing up in there as well. Like, see right there, I just washed over and it lifted up that little piece right there that is flipping around. You can see it moving right there on top. Why is that floating when I have this thing full of fucking... There, that dropped it. There's still a speck down here that got away, that floated and settled. But man, that gold is just all continuing, still lifting up. Why do I have fucking gold floating on this goddamn pan? What's with this shit? Pour the whole damn bottle in there, and it still has gold floating on the top. I just put in another big squirt. I mean, yes, gold is hydrophobic. It wants to be dry. It sheds water instantly as soon as it's cleared. That's why whenever you pull the pan down like that, just having that much water off of it, whenever you see right there, when I just rinsed back up, it picked up a bunch of little specks and carried them around to the back of the pan. That is just, I don't understand what this shit's doing. I've never used, this isn't the Walmart brand that I always use. That was from the grocery store here. But I am very dissatisfied with the way it seems to be performing. Man, every time I lift it back up there, it lifts up some gold and carries it off. I have never seen that. Not with a pan full of jet dry. Man, it is dead calm out here. I am just and there you go. Look at that shit. You see all that right there floating at the top? That's gold. That's gold floating right there at the bottom of the screen. Right there. I just rinsed, lift up. See it moving all the way around? There it is, back over where it belongs. Some jet dry. Some of it fell. Still some in the backside over here floating. Leave a comment if you guys have seen that before, where you cannot keep the gold from floating in your pan, because I've done some of the tiniest, smallest gold that you can buy from anywhere, and even that shit did not do what this is doing. It's got to be this crappy rinse aid. I'm about to go in there and get my bottle of Dawn and dilute it down, because at least that worked when I was out. This shit was still almost $4. Yeah, look at that. Floating, just floating every damn time. I'll take that shit back and get my money back on it. Fuck that. I just, man, that's just... You just don't expect it to do that. Every time I swirl around, after it's had water on it, it lifts gold up and carries it. That's just crazy. And you guys have seen how much I put in there of this crap. Look at that. Look, I just added another whole bunch, and you can see that it is just floating everywhere in there. Almost all, look at that, almost all the gold at the top is gone from what we started with. It's all carried down to the bottom. I don't know how I'm going to get this shit out of here. If you can't wash it, if it won't stay, look at that, every time I just lift it up, more gold carried. Son of a bitch. Well, I'm going to have, like I said, I'm going to go in there and get my Dawn. And see if that'll be better. I still have my, yeah, there's my bottle there. I'll just fill this up and dilute it. See if we can get something that'll work, because damn, pisses me off. Yeah, see all that gold up? That's where it all picked it up and carried it down to the bottom of the pan. Just ridiculous. And then when I'm rinsing that off, it's still picking it up. So yeah, there's no way to recover it. Well, I guess I can just keep sucking it up from. I go to suck it up and then pull it off the top of the water. All right, let me go get this out. All right, well, I've got some diluted Dawn here. Let's see if that will make a difference keeping the gold down. Well, what do you know? That seems to be working. Well, isn't that a pile of crap? $1 bottle of Dawn with about a half a cent's worth of soap and diluted does better than the $4 damn bottle of Rinse Aid. Yeah, that is no longer floating at all. That's what we want. Leave the gold, carry away the dirt. That is some fine gold in there too. Jordan's putting a little challenge on us there on the Bayou. Yeah, that's much better. Jeez, I was never gonna get through this stuff if I had to keep changing it around speck by speck. So that's, now we're talking business. Alright, let me get the rest of this done. We'll be back. Alright, well, let's see if we have a little better luck on this one, getting the gold to stay down. There was a lot of very fine gold in this pan when I went back through those tailings, the bottom of the pan there. So very challenging. I mean, like flour gold level size gold. So yeah, at any rate, back to the tale of the pets. I may not even care about that, but at any rate, so the boy was fine. I got back on the, like I said, I gave him his pills, and he's been eating fine. So that was Tuesday when we went to the vet, and so I get home, and I'm in the bedroom with Angel, and actually I was laying there with the pup, because he was kind of beat from from his ordeal in the morning. So we're laying there, and she hops up there and is actually laying on top of him, laying on me, which she does not like him. She does not want to be around him, and he's scared of her. And it's only recently that she's even gotten where she'll hop up there and lay on me whenever we're watching movies or something. And so I already knew that was weird. So I'm thinking she must be close to time for her kittens. And literally within a few minutes, she made this wow, and I felt I felt liquid. Hold up my hand. There's not deep red, but blood from the liquid, and so I scoop up the dog off of the she's my comforter, the comforter's is stained. I got it on me. She's having her kitten on me, and so he jumps off the bed, and I put him off the bed. Then she jumps down and goes after him immediately, and he's yelping and crying, and I chase him out, grab a towel and a box that I'd already was planning on setting up for her. I was trying to set it places where she'd want to go into it, because they like to find a quiet, private spot. And there's the kitten is when she jumped down off the bed, I guess it came the rest of the way out of her and was on the floor. So I scooped it up and put it, next to her, and had her little box set up and a towel on it. And it was a few minutes in between. I wasn't even sure if we were going to have more of them. And she managed to get out 5. And two of them are look like they're going to be black, because I think the father's the kind of feral black non-fixed cat that hangs out here, and was out here around when she got out for 3 days a couple of months ago. But and then looks like it's going to be a calico like her, because it's got the light colors on its face. I got one that's got one little eye patch, one eye. And then we had the last one was all white, and he is huge. He's like a bear cub. It's so funny to watch these little baby kittens, not even a day old, pawing at each other to get to those nipples. And he's strong enough. Usually I thought the last one was the runt. He is far from the runt, but there is one that is half his size, and I'm always trying to put it back in, get it on the spot where it can have a nipple. And but yeah, I've got the box still sitting on the bed, on the other side of the bed from where I sleep. And like last night, I was sleeping with my hand on her in the box with her paw on my hand. She does not. And when she gets out of, because I've been literally just staying beside him for 2 days. I haven't been hardly doing anything other than taking care of her and watching the kittens and making sure that she's good, keeping the dog away from her. Everything's locked up. I've got her litter box, her food and her water and stuff in the bedroom, so she doesn't have to go out and she doesn't have to encounter them. Because she went after hurricane too, both of them. She's, other than me, she does not want anything in this house near her, and then she doesn't want me away from her. So cats usually do not want that kind of attention when they're having kittens, much less, and they don't like you holding them. I've held them, put them back in the box, hold them up for her to lick them, to clean them. It's just crazy. So it's been quite experience. That's the first time I ever had a cat that had kittens. So that was my first. I wasn't sure. There was one of them I actually cut the umbilical on because she was having trouble biting through, and it's dangling from her mouth. So I grabbed the scissors and snipped that off. And as she'd have them, I'd pull them to the side, and I had a little towel, damp towel, that I would continue her job as far as kind of wiping them down while she would be putting out another one. And then once she was done, I'd slide them back over to where she was so they'd be close to her but every time she'd let out that and I knew there was another one in. So that was really, really quite the experience. And like I said, to have her so dependent on me being there, it's like I said, it's just very strange for a cat. But she's I've got her a new box set up now, a better box, because the kittens kept crawling out, and I'd pick them up and put them back in because it didn't have a lip on it. It was just a front open box with the towel acting kind of as the barrier to keep them from getting past. But so yeah, and I went up there yesterday and I bought the $14 can of the infant kitty formula and the nursing bottle, so I can supplement her feeding, especially for the, like I said, the little tiny runt. Man, that is still getting some gold lifting off of that. I just don't. The rain's coming. I don't know if y'all heard the thunder in the background while I was doing this, but it's been brewing up. And I can hear it hitting the, it's hitting the carport right now. I don't really see the, yeah, we got a little action coming our way, but I'll welcome the relief from the heat. It can cool me off with a little rain. I'm just fine with that. So, but yeah, mother and babies are all doing great, and I'm sure I'll be keeping at least one of them. So the only thing that has me worried is that I'm still finding little spots of blood from time to time from her, and it's just a drop, and but it's pretty deep, and it's pretty deep red. But she let me actually kind of check her out down there and spread her legs, and she was still seems to be kind of open, I guess, from, you know, dumping 5 kittens out, which she'd never done it before. But I wasn't finding any you know, tear or anything that was bleeding. So I don't know if she's still. I looked it up on the internet, and it talked about it was talking about profuse bleeding. It didn't, you know, spotty bleeding can be, you know, is not unusual, but after a couple of days it should stop, and it hadn't been a couple of days yet, so I'll give it one more day. And if she's still leaving little spots, then I'll have to take her in too. But look at that. Holy cow. More super fine gold dust. Flower gold. The flower gold wizard too here. No, not even close, but that is some flower gold. So that went a little better. When it's not floating away from you every time you wash it, man, that is just dust that I'm trying to pick up there. Look at that stuff. And then just a little crazy addition to the end of this kale. I had the boy out here just a little earlier before I started doing this, and we're right here in the backyard. He's on his little leash, and all of a sudden here comes this little dog trotting around from just like he did whenever I found him from the street, straight here into the backyard. And it's a little long-haired Chihuahua, except it's even smaller, and it's like a brown tan with fuzzy, you know, tuft ears, and a little male. And I'm like, what the hell is this street just shitting dogs now? Because I've been down here for 17 years. I even told you guys on a video back last year, whatever it was, that, you know, I have cats because that's always been what needed to be rescued. And if it'd been dogs, I'd probably have dogs too, instead of cats. And since I said that now, in the last year, I found that miniature Australian Shepherd, that showed up in my backyard and ran into my house when I opened the door. Found his home in a few hours and got him home. And then I had Gizmo show up, who has become a member of the family.
He is the craziest.
And then here, you know, a month later,
I have to leave you,
another little yapper dog shows up in the backyard.
He really does.
And first thing he did was try to hump him. It's like, no, he hasn't. He hasn't been doing that. I broke him of that habit the first few days when I had him. because he was one of, you know, those little dogs tend to want to hump everything. Oh, I'm sitting here looking at the pan over there. I didn't even realize I'm just talking to air here, holding this pan in the over the light side, trying to see this rest of this fine gold as I'm blathering here. But yeah, just fucking crazy. And whenever I reached down for him to pet him, he went, you know, did the little snap at me, and so I grab up Gizmo so that, you know, that doesn't, he's not humping this little male dog. And like I said, then I tried to just even pet him or you know, touch him, and he did what Chihuahuas do, snapped and, you know, shook. And then he ran off, took off back, heading up down the street. So hopefully he'll find his way home. But totally look different dog than Gizmo though for Chihuahuas. Like I said, he had that kind of a fox long hair, tufted ears and stuff. But it's just like I said, what is with the dogs showing up on me here? I jinxed myself by saying that. So alright, well, I am still every time having to go through and recover more fine flowers. So I'm gonna get through a couple more of these pans and we'll be back. But yeah, I figured the kitten video, the cat giving birth, I mean, literally it's me showing her babies one at a time, you know, coming, counting them down as they come out. It's got like less than 40 views in a day. What the fuck, you know? On a short. You know, my last good dog short got like, you know, 3,000 or something views, 6,000 views, whatever it was. But yeah. But they are some cuties. So all right, well, we're gonna try to see if I can dodge the rain and get some of this done, and we'll be back. Oh, I just wanted to show you guys I'm still working through this stuff, and it is some fine stuff all through here. And basically, I'm just clearing out a little enough to be able to scoop. Oh, I get the bowls out of the way there. And whenever you pick this stuff up, you actually have to really have it down on the pan. You can see some of it's still there. You like a vacuum cleaner. You gotta scrape the bottom of the pan to get it out because it hangs. And yeah, but it is some tough stuff to recover. That's for sure. So again, I get to where I get an edge like that with a pretty good, and same thing like normal gold, you just barely tap and move the pan. But this stuff, you got to really bang it hard to get the gold, that fine gold, to move up, because it is gripping the pan. So all right, just wanted to show you that. Carry on. And that is the reason we use Rinse Aid and not Dawn or normal dish detergent, because, and it's not the panning that does that, it's using the snuffer. When you blow out your snuffer bottle after you've sucked up your stuff, it makes more foam. So yeah, man, it takes some work to get that stuff out, I'll tell you. It is a lot of fun to recover. Like I said, some really fine stuff, and every time I swirl around, I keep finding another little line until I get down to nothing. So we still got about half the bottle still to go. I've been out here for a while. We're just doing it a little bit at a time, working it down. So hopefully we're in between the showers. I got a minute or two. So, but yeah, that is why we like real Rinse Aids and not whatever this bullshit is. But at least it is keeping my diluted Dawn is keeping the gold from floating, so I'll take that as a win. All right, well, we are down to our last pan of the very challenging Blackout in the Bayou. and it was a blackout. Okay, yeah, let's soap up that water. Just went in and checked on my mama. She's stretched out in the new box with a bunch of little babies laying on her feeding. So it's just what I like to see. All 5 of them were lined up across her stomach, and each one of them was eating. So that's a good thing. Look at there. That is beautiful. Actually, I put a little more in this one than I've been doing just because it was the end. And I'm trying to beat the next band of thunderstorms coming. The thunder is picking up. Yeah, we got gold spreading out everywhere off this. So what I've been doing pretty much is just as soon as I could get some clear, I suck up what I can. I guess I should be showing you guys when I'm doing that and not just holding the pan down away from the camera. Let's see, you can get that nice separation if you do your tap and then give it a little shake. And it pops that stuff back out just like that on the side. Once I can get it where I have minimal black sand, scoop up along that edge. We're going to go ahead and get all this along there now. That was a lot of black sand in there with that, but mostly gold, so I'm already going to have a good amount of black sand to go through in the snuffer dump anyway. But that got the bulk of it. And like I said, when you want to walk that stuff up, you got to tap a lot harder than you do for regular size gold, which you would think it would be just the opposite, that little stuff would move with just the slightest touch, but it does not. There have been creating bubbles, so it makes it hard to see your stuff to pick it up. And like I said, you got to keep the tapered tip flush down on the pan to be able to pull that stuff out, because it hangs pretty tight when you're dealing with that super fine flour gold. And I hope everyone enjoyed Vendetta Week. We had a bunch of cool videos out and some very nice pay dirts, and it was just a fun time doing some Vendetta bags. I think A3 Sky Warrior took the prize for the most on the Blitz this year on his videos. Last year it was my kill. He had them rolling. I think a few more than even A3 did, but it was like I said, I think it was a good time, and we had a lot of videos out, so very cool. And thanks again to Mike Vendetta for putting out a pay dirt that everybody can really enjoy doing, and you can feel good about saying, hey, let's do some of this stuff, because you're not worrying about you know, oh, is it one of the bags that's going to be crappy, or is it a company that, you know, there's no question that it's some of the best gold you can get, and some a variety of very cool pay dirts that showed up. So hopefully we will do it again next year for Vendetta Week 3. Stay tuned. Let's just check this out. The rain is back. Hopefully it'll give us a minute or two to get through this. The temperature is much better, that's for damn sure. Like I said, I'd be more than happy to take the rain and lose some of the heat. Where's the squirter? Oh. Glad that bottle was already emptied out. You gotta watch, sometimes it'll actually, you can get it trapped in your, like that, in your snuffer. You want to slide your straw, your tube down to push that stuff out. So we are now clean. And let's just look at our beautiful, fine, impossible gold here. Well, obviously it wasn't impossible because we got it, but it did not make it easy, I'll tell you that. Let's see, we've got some black sand. And what we're going to do is use our other snuffer. Make sure there's, yeah, it's still black, still some gold in there. I was going to say we use the other snuffer bottle to pick out the black sand as we clean it down, which I'm probably going to do anyway. Then you just go back through that looking for the gold in it. But it is a process to get gold this fine clean, because even when you think it is, there's still tiny specks of black sand that'll hang in there. And when the gold is so much lighter than smaller than the specks of black sand, that's where it gets tricky. Trying to wash it down without carrying the gold, like that one little dot right there, that I would be flushing down a bunch of gold trying to wash that little rock down. But check that out. That is some beautiful, super fine gold. Just so you can see how tiny it gets all the way down the side there. A little ring of gold. Awesome, Jordan. All right, well, we're gonna get this cleaned up and we'll get it dried up and weighed up and see what we recovered. Oh, well, here we are once again with a pan of some incredibly fine gold. That was some tough recovery for sure. What is the green in there? Okay. Anyway, yeah, it looks like stars in the sky there on this pan. Just beautiful. Damn it, there's another little speck of green. Okay. It looks like I got it. So it is some super powdery. But again, just check that out. So let's dump it out if we can. Oh, let's zoom back out. We can get this out on the paper. see there's still quite a bit clinging to the inside. That's, you know, you've got some super fine powder whenever you've got to scrape it out of the pan like that. And it even still, you can see it leaves the fingerprint outline there from moving it, because it is so super fine. Very cool stuff. Thank you again to Jordan and Gold Thumb Prospecting. Alright, well, let's just see what I ended up with out of this awesome jar of pay dirt. Very challenging. And then again, you can still see there's some fine dust. I do have a little bit of black sand that made it into this for sure, just because I was not willing to lose the gold for the sand. A few specks of black sand. So there we go, 0.430431 on that. So Jordan, let me know if you watch this, if I got it all. Like I said, I went back through the tailings pretty thoroughly and got a nice little pile of very super fine gold out of it. So thank you again so much, and once more, I just can't thank all of y'all enough for the generosity that so many of y'all show for the channel and support, and really means a lot. And it's just awesome to see stuff like this. Again, just incredibly super fine gold out of that. I haven't dealt with any of that kind of stuff in a long time. So that was, like I said, that was really cool. And posed quite the challenge for sure. But again, this is that stuff where you see the way it moves, it almost looks like a liquid quality to it. I didn't want to really shift it to the paper again because it's so fine dust. So, but I needed to get a better look at it one more time up here close before we cut out, because that is just crazy. So, all right, like I said, we always got to get a good close-up shot. Whenever I'm holding it, I just move it around too much. So there we have a bunch of little kittens and mama right here. Hold on, let me get a look at them. And as usual, they're on. There's the big giant white one, the biggest of all. And then here's in the middle of the pack, there's our little tiny squirt, who's the littlest of them all. You can see the difference in size compared. So he's the one I'm trying to get to eat some food, and he's just not wanting to take it. But she lines up, and they all I scratch her belly a little bit, and she rolls over and gives them. I keep propping the littlest one up there on the nipple to try to get it. But then this guy comes in, and he just bullies his way through all of them. And it's so funny because they're 2 days old, and they'll just sit there like scratching each other, front paws going back and forth, vying for position. And and then you can hear Gizmo in the outside the door there. But yeah, she is the best. She is the best little girl and a very good mommy. And yeah, we got a lot of squealing and squawking, but it's there you go. And like I said, this is just sitting. There's my spot on the bed here, and then there's that side, and that's the heating pads underneath here to keep them warm. And like I said, I sleep. This is a new box. I just made this today so that it would have a lip here to keep them, because they're so active they keep crawling out. So at least this kind of restricts them. But yeah, they are. She is such a good attentive mom. I've been very proud of her. So, all right, I thought that'd be a good wrap up for the for this episode. And then guess who's always waiting at the door for me to come out? Yeah. Guess who it is? Okay, hold on. Well, all right. He literally jumps in my arms. He gets about almost waist high to get the jump. And what he's trying to do now is jump over to the stool because he knows that's where we put on the collar to go outside. He just came in. You just trying to fake me out to get you to walk. So, but yeah, he's my boy. And there's my come here. There's my other big boy. So these are my two boys that that are he's a heavy boy. Hurricane and Gizmo that are persona non grata in the house for the time being, but yeah, we're gonna work it out. So thank you all once again so much for being here for this episode. Thank you again to Gold Thumb Prospecting for a really fun and challenging jar, some cool gold. And like I said, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to do something for 4th of July, of course. I'm going to have to pop a firecracker or two. And we were out there. They were popping them off earlier, some big ones, and he's sitting there. He was unfazed, so he doesn't care about the fireworks going off. So that's cool. And yeah, he's a pretty good boy. So I guess that'll wrap this one up. I hope you all have a very happy, safe, and sane 4th of July holiday weekend. I know it's, like I said, we're just going into it this weekend, so hopefully you guys will get a long one. And till the next time, this is Bayou Gold Guy saying thank you so much. Take care of each other. Gizmo says hey. And until the next time, peace out, my friends. And spay and neuter your pets if they're going to be outside, right? Right? Yeah. This is what they do. They just go after each other. And Mama just... There we go.